Happy Tuesday, Bucs fans. You're watching Bucs Breakdown presented by PrizePicks. My name is Reed Barkus. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Mel Kiper's 2026 NFL draft grades and what he graded the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after what I thought was a pretty fantastic draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I was about to say 76ers because I can see we are destroying my friend Jake Chipper. He is the host of 76ers Now. We had an April sub battle. It is a couple days before April is over, and we are up by 100 subs. Now, help me beat my best friend. I've known him since I was very, very young, and now we work at the same company here at Chat Sports, and I'm trying to beat him, and we're up 100. Now, don't stop. Keep the pedal to the metal. And make sure we take down my best friend. He sits right next to me. It would be very, very cool if I look over at him and I say, hey, we won in April. So help me do that. You get free, fun Bucs content all offseason long. Even after the draft, we got you covered. All right, moving on to Mel Kiper's grade. It is a B- for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2026 NFL Draft. What did I miss? I thought it was an easy A. Now, we're going to break down what he talked about in terms of who we drafted and maybe the fits that they have on the team and why he gave us a B-. Now, B- isn't terrible, but, where's the A? I thought we did great. And so let's talk about what Mel Kiper said about our draft. Now, he said 4 streaks came to an end in Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers did not win the NFC South for the first time since 2020, did not make the playoffs for the first time since 2019, do not have Mike Evans on the roster for the first time since 2013, and do not have Lavonte David on the roster for the first time since 2011. Yeah, a lot of this, thanks, Mel, for bringing this up. It's a different era of Buccaneers football, that's for sure. The Bucs have drafted ahead at receiver with Jalen McMillan in the 3rd round 2 years ago and Emeka Egbuka in the 1st round last April. They are okay there. Okay, all right. Even after Evans signed in San Francisco, even so, Ted Hurst in the 3rd round gives Baker Mayfield another target as a big 6'4" end zone magnet. 15 scores over the past 2 years. And I know that we look at Ted Hurst and it's like, he went to Georgia State. Yeah, well, if you're still amassing 1,000 yards in a Division I school, that's still pretty good. And he got 6 touchdowns, 71 receptions, and he is about 6'4", so 206. And I don't want to say Mike Evans' replacement, but the offense for sure benefits from having a guy that is big, a good target for Baker Mayfield. So getting him in the 3rd round, I think you use your first couple picks to, satisfy the needs on defense, and then you got he's a big play threat, and you can throw it to him in the red zone, and he's very good at contested catches, and he can stretch the field as well. So you get a guy like that in the 3rd round, I think that's great. And the Bucs have a great history of finding wide receivers like Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan and even Mike Evans. There is a really, really good history of Jason Light, the Glazers, and Todd Bowles sort of sitting down and being like, hey, this guy will be good for our offense at the wide receiver position. So I have no doubt that Ted Hurst will develop into a starting wide receiver after Chris Godwin eventually is off this team. So I don't know if Mel was like, he's all right getting him in the 3rd round. I think this was honestly a bit of a steal because he is way better than I think people are giving him credit for, and I can't wait to see what he'll do on this offense because Baker Mayfield, I think, is going to love him in the shorter parts of the field. Before we get on with the rest of what Mel Kiper said about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their grades, I want to give a huge shout-out to our friends over at PrizePicks. They are presenting this show, Buccaneers Breakdown, presented by PrizePicks. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. I'm sorry, guys. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports app, as well as mine. It's playoff time for basketball, and the baseball season is fully underway, and there's no better place to win some cash than with PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app, and is the best place to win some cash while watching sports, which is why I've been using it since 2022. So take it from me, it is a great place to win some cash. If you wanted to see my profile picks, you're in luck. With the new social feeds feature, you can follow me on the app at Reed Barkus. to see all my lineups. The app is super simple to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats. Lock in your lineup. For example, talking about the social feeds feature, this is not my lineup, actually. This is our host of our Lakers channel, Jeffrey Cooperstein. He is watching the NBA games tonight, so he put in a lineup. I'm going to do the same thing. So that's what the social feeds feature is great about. So we got Alperen Şengün less on the points, Austin Reeves more on the points, and then Reed Shepherd less on the blocked shots. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is I love having that social feeds feature where I can go on to Jeffrey's lineup and see what he's rocking with. So this is what we're gonna do for tonight's games. But if you're a new user and you're like, well, I don't really know how to get started with PrizePicks, that is perfect. We got an offer for you. Download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comment. Oh, excuse me, guys. With the link in the comments and the description, and use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't forget, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. I'll have all of that in the comments and description of today's show. Now, before we get on to what Mel Kiper had to say, quick water break. Sorry, guys. My throat, the draft took it out of me. So I sound a little bit under the weather, but we're powering through. All right, moving on to what Mel Kiper had to say to the Buccaneers and their draft. The Bucs need a solve. The Bucs needed a solve at linebacker with David retiring and signed Alex Anzalone as part of the answer. Josiah Trotter can be another part of the answer. He's a tackling machine with over 183 over the past 2 seasons. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. And the son of Jeremiah Trotter, the legendary linebacker over in Philly. He's 21 years old, 6'1", 237 pounds, 84 tackles last year, 13 TFLs as a linebacker, 2 sacks, 1 PBU. I mean, this guy, if you see him running downhill, run away, because he packs a punch with his hits. He's a throwback thumper, which I know Todd Bowles is going to love in this defense. Faces struggles dropping into coverage, but I don't think that's what you drafted him for. I think you drafted him for a hybrid between, an edge rusher, not really, but that outside linebacker that's going to make a play and gives you a lot of blitzing ability, which I love. And Alex Anzalone, bringing him in, I mean, he's going to be your green dot guy. He's a veteran. He has experience, and we got Walker coming back as well. Yaya Diaby's going to be a captain on this team. I keep saying it over and over. He's got a great year ahead of him. And then you get a guy like Ruben Bain Jr., who, I mean, Ruben Bain is just one of the guys who we don't even have to talk about him because he is a home run. And, I mean, I'm going to be talking about him all offseason because I'm extremely excited about him. We may have, hint, we may have a sort of merch shirt coming out soon if we can get around to that about Ruben Bain Jr. But this defense, this linebacker room got a huge upgrade, and Josiah Trotter is going to have snaps over Savasier Dennis. I believe that. And Savasier Dennis, it's a prove-it year for him. I say it all the time when we look at that depth chart because he's just not living up to the potential that I thought he would. And I think Trotter can complement Anzalone and bring that type of energy and aggressiveness to this defense that we were looking for last year. We didn't have the juice. The defense, when you have no pass rush and no pressure on the quarterback, the secondary struggles. Everybody struggles when the quarterback has more time to throw. So I think Josiah Trotter can bring that blitzing ability, bring that aggressiveness to the pass rush, and just being an overall energetic and fun guy to be on the defense. So I thought that was a fantastic pick. So the B- for Mel Kiper, I still don't understand, but let's continue on. Now he talks about our guy, Mr. Ruben Bain Jr. The 2 picks that really stand out from this draft class, though, are 2 kids from the state of Miami. Ruben Bain Jr. mixes power, bend, and good angles and bursts to be a real pass rushing problem for opponents. Offensive coordinators have to account for him. He had 9.5 sacks and 71 pressures last season, and he pitched in against the run, too. A lot has been made about his short, 30-inch arms, but there's no denying his consistent ability to get home with all of his other traits. With Al-Quadin Muhammad, 11 sacks last season for the Detroit Lions. Also coming in, the Bucs pass rush could be really good in 2026. So I guess that's where we got that B from, because Ruben Bain is an instant starter from day one. He instantly improves this pass rush. We've wanted to get bigger. We've wanted to get faster. We wanted to get pressure on the quarterback. Ruben Bain does that immediately, and I cannot believe still that he fell to pick 15 for us. So he slots in at that outside linebacker position. We once again looking at this linebacker group. I mean, if you move Josiah Trotter, and I have him behind Christian Rozeboom only just because Christian Rozeboom is a veteran. I think Josiah Trotter is going to get starting snaps as well over Savasier Dennis, depending on how training camp and stuff goes. But going back to Ruben Bain, I mean, he is a force to be reckoned with, and he is if you watched him walk out during draft day, he just took his hat and ran out to the stage, basically. So he's ready to get to work, and he is exactly what this defense needs. The pass rush is going to be immensely better with him slotting in at that starting outside linebacker, and I don't know how Ruben Bain alone gets us to an A+ on this draft for him getting there at 15. But hey, shout out to PrizePicks. Shout out to Ruben Bain. 6.5 sacks for Ruben Bain Jr. in 2026. PrizePicks way. More or less for Ruben Bain Jr. in 2026. I think this is way too easy. This is my own, 6.5 idea. Rookies, they're not a huge impact in terms of sacks when it comes to their first rookie year. So I put it, 6.5 sacks. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments section. I love to hear from you guys. All right, moving on to what Mel Kiper said about our draft class. Excuse me, guys. Gonna have some water before I read this quote. How's everyone's Tuesday night going? All right, let's go. I also liked the Keionte Scott pick a lot. He's all over the Miami tape, disrupting opposing offenses as a blitzer, chasing down running backs, and making plays on the ball in coverage. Scott could factor in as a slot corner or safety. Tampa Bay got him at a good value, too. He was number 80 on my board, so I was expecting excuse me. I wasn't expecting to see him still out there at the number 116th pick. And I completely agree with Mel Kiper is saying. He's 5'11", 191 pounds, but he plays way bigger, way faster than you could ever imagine. I mean, getting him at 116, the guy is making plays all over the field, and he is a scary football player, guys. If you don't believe me, go watch the tape of this dude last year. He was all over the field, flying everywhere, and my favorite part about it is in this NFL league right now, like the way that Cooper DeJean and Kyle Hamilton, those guys play, is how Keionte Scott plays. You watch his tape, he loves like stepping up into the box and pretending he's just he's here, and then he darts right to the quarterback. And it also getting a guy who can blitz from the secondary, like kind of like Jalen Ramsey type, where you can put pressure on a quarterback from the secondary as well as a guy like Keionte Scott moving. Like, it is perfect, and I love the fit for our defense because he could play anywhere in this depth chart. Like, if you see this, like Zion McCollum, CB1, Benjamin Morrison, I love him on the outside. I would. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. Looking at this secondary depth chart right now, I have Keionte Scott as a safety behind Antoine Winfield, but I would 100% be able to move him around like a Nicky Minwari or something like that. Move Jacob Parrish out to CB2. Benjamin Morrison, with the injuries, I think he would be a backup. Move Keionte Scott to the nickel. And then you could just move everyone around on different packages and nickel packages. Like, this would Keionte Scott brings so much versatility to this backfield or this secondary. And the fact that we got him at 116, it is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see this defense, which is so funny because literally weeks ago I was like, oh, my God, this defense is just not going to be great. But, hey, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, moving on to what Mel Kiper had to say. The tight end position wasn't addressed until the 6th round. I had it as the top roster need. Top roster need? Really? Did you watch our defense last year, Mel? I had it as the top roster need, and Kenyon Sadiq was often matched with the Bucs at 15th pick. I have no issue with the Bucs taking Bain there. Yeah, clearly. Sadiq and Bain were back-to-back on my board, but they needed to do something at the position before taking Bauer Sharp in the late rounds. Tampa Bay re-signed Cade Otton, but the Bucs could go with a lot of two tight end sets this season in Zac Robinson's offense, and it was a missed opportunity to not get a higher-rated prospect. All right. Well, first off, let's not downplay a guy like Bauer Sharp. He's basically 6'5", 249 pounds. Now, on LSU, 24 receptions, 252 yards last year, and 2 touchdowns. Excuse me, guys. Now, I don't want to downplay Bauer Sharp. Like, respectfully, I like this tight end room. Like, I know, like, if Ruben Bain wasn't there at 15, I could totally see Jason Light being like, hey, this is a playmaker, a generational type playmaker in Kenyon Sadiq. Let's go get him and then make it work after that. But you don't skip a guy like Rueben Bain. But I like this depth chart room. Like, I bringing back Cade Otton, I thought was a good idea. And adding in Bauer Sharp, who we're not giving him enough credit. He's good. Like, Cade Otton, obviously, going to be tight end 1. Payne Durham is more of your blocking tight end. Bauer Sharp. And then you also have Devin Colt on there as well. And Ko Keefe, you bring him back more a special teams guy and blocker as well. But, like, Bauer Sharp, dude, guys, he's athletic. If you watch the tape of Bauer Sharp, he is hurdling guys. He just doesn't play up to NFL type of tight end play, you know what I mean? He gets a little bit overpowered when he's blocking, but that can come a little bit more, you know what I mean? So I think getting him in the 6th round, I think getting a tight end we needed, right? To get a little bit more depth and see some more options. But I think Mel saying, it's the top roster need. I think we hit exactly the top roster needs. And then when you get to a point where a guy who's 6'5", 240, like, and a tight end who could potentially create something, when you re-sign Cade Otton for 3 more years, that's our guy. So I don't know. I'm not the NFL draft analyst that Mel is for ESPN, but I thought we did way better. And if you do too, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're happy with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2026 NFL draft, make sure to hit the subscribe button, youtube.com/Bucs now. I'm putting out free, fun Bucs content from a Bucs fan for a Bucs fan. So if you haven't already, join the channel. We just went over 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. We started at 52 back in January. So shout out to you guys. If you want some fun Bucs content, hang out with some Bucs fans, this is the place to do it. And we got to beat my friend. We got to beat my best friend. We're up 100. Don't let off the gas. Got a few days left in April. So if you're watching this in the month of April and you haven't subscribed already, make sure we beat my best friend, and so I can stick it to him when I'm sitting next to him. And as always, fire the cannons.